Hello and good day everyone. This is Dr. Edward Padama and this time we're going to discuss another topic especially relevant and related to our dear teachers in terms of research writing. So ano ba itong klaseng research na ito na palaging nating naririnig at ipinagagawa karaniwan sa mga guro natin. So bago natin pag-usapan ito, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Doc Ed Padama. Same with my TikTok account. I'm also in TikTok advocating research writing to both social media platforms. So please support my YouTube channel and my TikTok account. Both of them are under the name Doc Ed Padama. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. So our discussion for today will be all about conceptualizing an action research. So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na madalas karaniwan ipinagagawa sa mga guro natin. Ano ba ang meron dito sa action research? At ano ang pagkakaiba nito doon sa tinatawag nating full research? Or merong iba tinatawag yung full research na regular research. But I kind of disagree kasi wala namang special, walang regular. Okay? So, we have a full research which is what is usually prescribed in the tertiary level until the graduate school level from the master's and the doctorate degree students. And then we have this action research. So, these are not different in terms of format, in terms of content. It's just the direction of and objective of the research, specifically the action research, is very action or result oriented. So based from the title itself, action, it should be result oriented in terms of you have to produce something towards the end of the research. Meron kang kailangan ipresenta, ipakita, at gawin towards the end of the research, which does not stop doon sa tinatawag nating recommendation. So usually, yung full research natin, the last chapter is the summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendation. Beyond that, pagdating sa action research, meron pang kailangang gawin o i-present after the recommendation. And that is what we are going to discuss today. Dear teachers, especially teachers who are listening to us today or watching this video presentation. So, this is also with reference to DepEd guidelines. So, since most of our teachers are involved or related with the government or the public school system, we are going to use references to serve as a guide in creating or writing this action research. Ano ba ang ine-expect ng Departamento ng Edukasyon pagdating sa pagsusulat ng tinatawag nating action research? Okay, now, moving forward, let us define research in a nutshell. This is the research that I was discussing earlier, na full research. Pag tayo gumawa ng full research or research proposal, which is from chapters 1 to chapter 3, this is what is supposed to be expected in that particular process. Bago tayo pumunta doon sa tinatawag nating action research. Okay? Number 1, research in general identifies an existing social or any relevant problem or issue. So, I would like to emphasize and reiterate that a research does not start with a title, it starts with a problem. If you're going to observe, a research ends with a solution to a problem. The problem will be the basis of your title. Ganon po yung tinatawag nating relevance ng iba't ibang elemento o bahagi ng research sa isa't isa. Hindi po nauuna ang title. Nauuna ang paghahanap at pag-identify nung tinatawag nating problema na interesado tayo, una. Pangalawa, na related sa atin o apektado tayo. And then pangatlo, yung pwede tayong makapagbigay ng solusyon para mapagaan itong issue na ito na may kinalaman sa atin at interesado tayo. Okay, so ito ang unang bahagi ng tinatawag nating research process. Pangalawa, prepare all the necessary, the following. Okay, identify the following. Meron po tayong tatlo dito. Ito yung tinatawag nating method, design, and yung tool. Napaka-importante po nitong tatlo. So kapag na-identify na natin kung ano yung gusto nating problema na imbestigahan, kailangan makita na kaagad natin, malaman na natin anong paraan ang gagamitin natin. Whether quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. Okay? Ito yung mga available na method na pwede nating gamitin. So, madali lang naman malaman yung pagkakaiba nitong mga method na ito para madali nyo ma-identify, immediately identify kung ano yung method na gagamitin ninyo. So, kapag sinabi natin quantitative, this is measurable, uses numerical value, uses statistical analysis, therefore it uses statistical formula. Mamaya may papakita po tayo yung mga pagkakaiba nito mga method na ito. While on the other hand, qualitative method naman, ito naman yung opposite ng quantitative. Hindi siya nasusukat, therefore hindi siya gumagamit ng numeric value, therefore hindi siya gumagamit ng statistical formula or statistical analysis. Iba ang analysis ng tinatawag nating qualitative research. Dito naman sa design, kung ang napili ninyong paraan ay yung tinatawag nating quantitative, under quantitative, merong iba't ibang klase ng design. So, nandyan yung experimental, correlation, causal. Under experimental, you have quasi-experimental or true experimental. So, ito yung tinatawag nating mga design. Disenyo kung papaano nyo, ipinapakita nito kung papaano nyo gagawin yung tinatawag nating research. Okay? And then, dun sa tools, when we talk about tools, this refers to the instrument. The instrument are the data gathering tools that you will use in order to collect data. Okay, so tools refers to the data gathering instrument. So usually kapag under yan ng quantitative, ito ay yung mga tinatawag nating survey questionnaire, checklist, at kung ano-ano pa. Okay? So, napakahalaga ng tools dahil palagi ko ngang ginagamit yung metaphor na kung kayo ay nagluluto, ang tools ay kahalintulad doon sa mga rekado na ginagamit nyo sa pagluluto. Kung ang objective ninyo na maluto ay adobo, tapos ang rekado na ginamit ninyo ay hindi tama doon sa gusto nyong iluto, ang kalalabasan niyan ay hindi doon sa gusto nyong gawin. Ganon din sa tools. Kaya pagdating dito sa tools or instrument of the study, meron pa tayong mga iba't ibang proseso na kailangang gawin at isa na dyan na napakahalaga ay yung validation ng tools. So kailangan makita ng mga expert na mga validators na yung instrument na gagamitin ninyo ay naka-align doon sa research na gagawin ninyo. Kaya, yun ang dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating validation. Okay. Okay. This will assist in proving a solution or answer to the problem or issue that you are conducting doon sa tinatawag ninyong study or research na ginagawa ninyo. The next one, mag-gather na ng mga data. So, after deciding on number 2, which is the method, design, and tools, you're already prepared to gather pertinent or important data that you need for your study. Next, number 4, analyze na yung na-gather ninyong data. So, under number 4, this is already part of chapter 4. Chapter 4, ang title ng chapter 4 ay yung tinatawag nating presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. So, dito, ipapakita na yung mga tables, na nanggaling doon sa mga data na na-collect ninyo, and then from the table, if you're doing quantitative research, ito ay kung ang ginagawa ninyo ay quantitative research. And then mula dito sa mga table na ito, magkakaroon na ng interpretation ng mga data. Okay? And then after this, the next part is the presentation of the findings, conclusion, and recommendation, which represents yung tinatawag nating Chapter 5. Summary, findings, conclusion, and recommendation is the title of Chapter 5. Usually, yun po yung format na sinusunod natin pagdating dun sa tinatawag nating full research. Okay? So, ang findings ninyo ay base doon sa mga nakita ninyo sa Chapter 4, which is the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. Ipipresent ko yung findings sa Chapter 5. Ang conclusion ay base doon sa findings. Conclusions are realizations, statements, realizations based on what you have discovered or galing nga doon sa tinatawag nating presentation of findings. Okay? And then ang recommendation ay base naman doon sa findings of the study. Ano ang pwedeng gawin? Mula sa recommendation kasi, itong bahagi ng research ninyo, from the word itself, recommendatory lang. Pwedeng tanggapin, pwedeng gawin noong involve or yung ginagawa ninyong institution or group or community. So, dito po nagkakaroon ng distinction pagdating doon sa full research at dun sa tinatawag nating action research. Kasi, ang action research naman, which is our next slide, ay meron ditong tinatawag na intervention, innovation, strategy, program or plan based on the findings of the study. So, meron siyang concrete na plano. Plano kung papaano gagawin yung innovation. Ibig sabihin, baka merong strategy na bago na nakita doon sa research na effective gamit sa pagtuturo ng isang asignatura or ng isang subject. Ito ay considered as an innovation. So, magpe-present ka ng plan. Magpe-present ka ng programa. Papaano ito gagawin? Yun ang tinatawag natin pagkakaiba doon sa full research ninyo na usually na nakasanayan natin gawin na hanggang sa recommendation. And then yung isa naman ay yung action research. Okay, so under the definition of action research, intervention, innovation, strategy, program, or plan are supposed to be included dito sa ganitong study na action research based on the findings and hindi po humihinto doon. And this is backed up by DepEd guidelines or Department of Education guidelines. Kailangan i-disseminate, and utilize the proposed program, plan, or intervention. It also seeks to develop and improve what is already existing. So, hindi lang innovation. Kung meron ng ginagawa, meron ng programa, meron ng intervention, ito ang ginawa ninyo ng action research, investigation, exploration of an existing program or innovation, babagsak pa din ito doon sa classification na tinatawag nating action research. Ngayon, ang gagawin ninyo, magpo-propose kayo ng plan kung paano ito pwede pang pagandahin, pwede pang i-develop, kung paano pa ito pwedeng i-improve. Ulitin natin, makikita nyo meron ng dalawang aspeto na pwedeng i-present pagdating sa action research. Pwedeng innovation, pwedeng development or improvement of what is already existing. Okay. So now that we have set that aside regarding regular research or yung full research natin, regular research, and as compared doon sa action research, according to Mills na definition, action research is any systematic inquiry. So, let's set the context. Ano ba yung area na dapat nyong imbestigahan pagdating sa action research? Now, according to Mills, action research is any systematic inquiry conducted by teachers, researchers to gather information about the ways that their particular, ito na po yung area, school operation, that's one area. How they teach, anything related to teaching, and obviously, counterpart of teaching is learning. So makikita nyo, ito yung tatlong area of focus pagdating sa action research. School operation, management, leadership strategies, teaching, and learning. Okay, o nandyan na. That is according to Mills. Mamaya, again, i-reinforce pa yan ng mga memos coming from the Department of Education. This information is gathered with the goals of gaining insight, developing reflective practice, effective positive change, or effecting positive change, pagbibigay ng makabagong paraan ng pagbabago para ma-improve kung ano yung nag-i-exist na doon sa school, and on educational practices in general, and improving students' outcomes or performance with regard to their studies. So this is according to Mills 2003. Now, another is, this one is a definition according to DepEd regarding action research. So it is defined as a process of systematic reflective inquiry to improve educational practices or resolve problems in any operating unit. Medyo general pa, pero mamaya magiging mas specific ito. Therefore, the school's classroom or office. Okay, so basically the idea and the concept is almost the same as the one given by Mills. Pero as I've said, it will be presented more specific as we go on with our discussion. Okay, next. DepEd areas of research. So remember what Mills presented earlier, school management, teaching, and learning. Okay, yung areas of research. Now, according to DepEd, the area of research differs based on the level of governance. So it's either national, district, or yung local school. So these are the areas of governance. But all research proposals must be anchored on the following thematic areas of research. So what are these? Number one, improving access to education, improving the quality of education, improving governance. So these are still areas of concern that can be added to what has already been presented earlier. So pwedeng access to education, any problem or issue related to this particular topic, the quality of education, this will fall under teaching and governance, or school management, school operation, leadership. And then improving governance is mostly on school operation. Okay? Administration, leadership, management. Okay, the next. Simple DepEd action research topics and titles. These are all titles that have already been presented, and if I am not mistaken, already accomplished their respective action researches. So let's get one and let's try to analyze. There is also another title that will be analyzed earlier. So number one, teachers' research competencies. Research competencies of teachers and attitudes. If you observe, every time you use N, A, and D, you're already presenting another variable. So in this case, research competency is one variable, and then another variable is attitude. My advice on this particular title is that focus on one variable, one issue, one topic. So if I were to critique this, I would focus on teachers' research competencies. And then the attitude may be included, exclude this in the title, and this can be included doon sa part ng tinatawag nating scope and limitation. Capability building program for the name of the school is presented here. So with regard to ethical standards, there is a committee that will screen your title whether the name of the school is allowed to be presented in the title or not. Ang magde-decide niyan will be the ethics committee of the research group. Okay? Now, it is up to you to look at the different types of titles that will be presented earlier. You can screenshot them para magkaroon kayo ng idea kung ano pa yung pwedeng title na i-present o i-propose sa inyong respective schools na nagpapagawa ng action research. So, let's critique another title. Difficulties encountered by the grade 4 mathematics teachers in teaching pupils exposed to MTB-MLE. Okay, number one, your title should reflect a neutral ground, neutral text, neutral definition in presenting the issue being investigated. To avoid prejudice or subjectivity, I am referring to the word to the use of the word difficulty. You may use, instead of difficulty, pwede nyo gamitin yung challenges or exploring. So, to avoid yung inclination and subjectivity, avoid terms that suggests, yun nga, yung sabi nating bias and subjectivity. So, you can readily resolve this by just changing the term. So my suggestion is either use challenges or exploring. So it will come out as challenges encountered by grade 4 mathematics teachers in teaching pupils. O, di ba? Mas malawak na pwedeng magkaroon ng possibility na may difficulty or walang difficulty based on the findings or result of the study. Huwag niyong simulan kagad sa difficulty. Uy, parang ano yung mga paghihirap or kaya barriers, o, di ba? So, these are just options that you consider. You may or may not consider, but again, these are recommendations. So, number 2, an action research. In an action research, make sure that the goal of the study would be able to produce improvement on the existing system or teaching strategy. So, after exploring or identifying the challenges encountered by these students, meron bang program, plan, or intervention that you would be able to produce in order to improve itong mga challenges or yung mga na-identify nyo when you were exploring dito itong mga learning process ng grade 4 teaching process ng mga grade 4 mathematics teachers sa pagtuturo ng MTB-MLE. So, this is a simple critiquing that we can do and we can practice when presenting a title for your action research. And you can do this to your title so that you would readily identify bago pa i-screen ng committee from DepEd yung proposed research ninyo. Okay. The next are samples of action research from DepEd. Okay? You can readily screenshot them, but you cannot copy the title and use it as your own. Obviously, part of the title is the locale, and if you are not related to that particular locale or school, it will not be applicable to you. You can recycle the title and implement the same idea in your respective schools. But my advice is if you can present innovations aside from this. So I am presenting this as a guide so that you can come up with other ideas aside from what is already investigated or presented as an action research. Okay? So this is another sample of a set of research titles. And then I think this is 4 groups that I was able to get from the website of teacherph.com, DepEd Action Research Topics and Titles. So this is another group. And then I think this is the last one of these groups of titles. Okay, the next is all DepEd Action Research to be conducted must be related to the nature of work, which we already discussed earlier, that would improve teaching and learning, access in school governance, and matters arising from the different types of trainings that you have attended, namely SIP and SLAC or School Learning Action Cell session that require further investigation. So, baka naka-attend kayo ng mga trainings in your respective local schools, and then there were problems that arose from those trainings. You can use that as part of your action research proposal. And that is supposed to be the process. What is the existing problem? And then you address that particular problem with an action research. Ganun po dapat yung proseso ng action research. Kung ano yung current, immediate need ng school, you have to address that by presenting a program based from the result of your action research. Okay? So, yun po dapat yung magandang sistema doon sa pag-implement nitong action research. Meron kasi iba gumawa ng action research, hindi naman relevant doon sa school nila. Or hindi nila ginawa doon sa school nila at ibang school ang ginamit nila, which is not recommended. Okay? So, wherever you are, whatever school you're assigned in, doon dapat ang magiging focus ng inyong Not unless, sabi nga natin, may iba't ibang level of governance. If your action research is in the national level or the district level, division level, that would be a different different discussion. So obviously the scope of your action research is bigger as compared doon sa tinatawag nating school level or local school. Kaya nga siya tinawag na local school. You focus on your assigned school where you are currently working. Okay, now the next one, this is the different levels of governance, the areas of research for each level, and the proposed amount for each research in this particular level as referred to the DepEd Order or DO number 43 series of 2015 ng DepEd. So, tatlo yung level ninyo. Sabi natin kanina, national level, district, or division level, or the other one is yung local school level. Okay, under the national level, ang areas of research ninyo would involve policy and decision making at the level ng national level, and then program development and implementation, program evaluation, process and impact study. So again, these are the areas, focus areas ng action research pagdating doon sa national level. Maximum amount allotted for this particular study per research is 500,000. Again, this is based on DO number 43 series of 2015. Okay. On the right side of the table, you can see that there is a specific timetable that you need to follow in order to accomplish this particular research. You have a maximum of 1 year. Okay, the next level is the region, division, or district. Region, division, or district. So, areas of research for this particular level of governance would be research that would improve the contextualization and implementation of policy in the region, division, and district. Another area is program development and process and program evaluation. So again, these are the prescribed areas for this particular level. The amount allotted for this particular research is 150,000 per research. And the duration is not stated based on the reference that were used for this particular presentation. The next level, which is what we are focused on right now, is the school or local school. Areas of research is what we discussed earlier. Action research that would improve teaching and learning, governance, matters arising from the trainings that we presented or we discussed or mentioned earlier, SIP analysis and SLAC. Okay, that requires further investigation. Now, for the allotted amount for this particular research is 30,000 per research, and the duration of the research is a maximum of 6 months. Do not worry if your research requires you to have an extension of what is already prescribed. Pwede naman kayong makiusap that the duration of the research be extended just as long as you communicate this properly with the committee assigned. Whether it's local sa school ninyo or doon sa department division under ng DepEd. Okay? The next is DepEd Research Management Cycle. This is under the RMG or the Research Management Guideline, which is again referred to in the DepEd Order 16 series of 2017, which discusses the Research Management Guidelines. So I'm going to present the process, but we're going to focus on process number 2, which is the screening. Kasi doon yung pinag-uusapan natin pagdating doon sa conceptualization ng tinatawag nating action research. based on or guided by DepEd Research Management. Okay, next. So what are these processes? Number one, call for papers, invitations, announcements, and then you will be asked to submit your proposals and so on and so forth. So this is what we call the call for papers. And then evaluation of proposals, which is supposed to go through what we call yung initial screening. Ito yung i-discuss natin more detailed later on. So again, this is the process ng research management cycle. Notification of result ng screening. Ano ang naging result ng screening? It's either rejected, accepted, major revision, minor revision. So this is under the notification of results. Progress monitoring. So if the paper is already approved, there is a progress monitoring that will be implemented during the creation and writing of the research. Okay? Next, technical assistance will also be provided if needed by the researchers. Provisions on changes and extensions. So this is what I was saying a while ago. I mentioned a while ago that if you need extension regarding the deadline of your research, it can be provided just as long as you communicate with the committee. Next, submission and acceptance. Submission and acceptance of the paper. Finished paper na ito. This will be, this also has a process. I think it is stated in the research management guidelines extensively what will be done with regard to the submission and acceptance of your research paper. But basically, kapag submission and acceptance na, this is already done. Tapos na yung research ninyo. So, ipipresent nyo na lang, isasubmit nyo na lang. But this does not stop here. Okay? Sabi nga natin kanina, meron dapat yan dissemination and utilization. Hindi lang siya sinisave, hindi lang siya ini-store. Okay? Kailangan i-distribute at gamitin. Okay, next. So, talking about dissemination and utilization. So, this is the next stage. After submitting and your study has been accepted, it should be disseminated to other local schools in the division, region. I think there's a database kung saan sinisave itong mga action researches na ito, if this is already digitized, so that it can be easily accessed by different levels of governance. So, dissemination and utilization. Archival is the storage of your action research. So, again, as I was saying earlier, if this is electronic, it will be saved on a general database kung saan pwede siyang i-access by any level of governance anytime na kailangan nila at subject for implementation na. Okay. Next, monitoring and evaluation of the implementation. So this is the cycle. After the monitoring and evaluation, hopefully there will arise research gaps from this monitoring and evaluation that needs to be addressed again. And sabi nga natin, magsa-cycle back yan doon sa call for papers. So based on the action research presented, implemented, disseminated, and then na-evaluate, na-assess na, and then nakita nila, na-identify nila na meron pang kulang, it will again go back to the first stage of the cycle. So, magde-develop ulit ng panibagong action research based on what is identified or what was identified from that particular monitoring and evaluation. Okay, now focusing on number 2, the initial screening of the action research. The respective secretariats will conduct initial screening of the submitted proposals against the following eligibility requirements. Complete your documents. Lahat ng isasubmit yung document, requirements should be complete. Okay? Alam niyo naman, mahirap kapag meron kayong na iwan o kulang, babalik ulit dun sa process and then yung waiting time, uulitin na naman. Okay, proposals failing or falling pala. Proposals falling under the following conditions will not be further evaluated. Take note, will not be further evaluated and will be immediately returned with technical inputs to the proponent. So what are these? Yung mga reasons kung bakit hindi matatanggap yung inyong proposal. Number 1. So the first one is incomplete documentary requirements, as again I mentioned earlier, as prescribed during the call for proposal. So go through the documentary requirements carefully. Then to avoid yung lack of documentary requirements, isa-isahin yung mabuti. Then number 2, conflict of interest in personal and professional aspect. So if your paper will be subject to bias dahil siguro you are already involved or emotionally attached to that particular study, then again, this will be up to the research committee to decide whether it is the presence of that subjectivity is in your paper or not. So sila yung magde-decide if they will accept this or reject this based on the result of their findings. Okay, and then whether the okay, so this is the conflict of interest in personal or professional aspect which may influence the impartiality of the parties concerned, and whether the proponent or the research manager is involved. Okay, next. Number 3, non-conformance to research ethics. So under the ethical standards, there are set of rules that you need to follow when it comes to research ethics. So meron dyan mga rules regarding studies relevant to the investigation ng mga minorities, ethnic groups, at kung ano-ano pa. And again, there are also rules regarding, as I mentioned earlier, the use of the names of the school. Again, that will be up to the committee kung ilalagay nyo o hindi ilalagay. If it will be harming the name of the school. So there are processes that you can follow regarding this. But basically, if you violate this and naging exploit, imbes na explore, you exploited a group instead of exploring what is supposed to be investigated, then it will be rejected. Your study will be rejected. The next one, exceeding the maximum amount of research grant with no provision for cost sharing. Exceeding the maximum amount of research grant. You were granted this particular amount and then your proposed budget went over the amount because of the following activities that is not related or relevant to your research writing. So baka meron kayong mga tour, may mga travel kayo, meron kayong mga food expenses that are not relevant to the study. Definitely that will not be allowed in the proposal of your action research. Next, number 5, non-alignment of research topic with the national and local basic education research agenda. So we've already presented the areas of concern, areas of investigation regarding the different levels of governance. So make sure that you align your proposal with these particular areas of investigation. And cost estimates not within the existing accounting and auditing rules and regulations. Aside from the over budget or beyond the budget, this is what I discussed in number 4. Estimates that are not within the accounting and auditing rules and regulations includes unnecessary travel or unnecessary expenses that were included in your proposal. Okay, the next one. This is still under the DepEd guideline regarding action research. The Secretariat will duly inform the proponent. This is under the screening of the results from the initial screening. Okay? If it is rejected or approved, the proponents who pass the initial screening shall then be endorsed to the respective research committees for a more more rigorous evaluation. So this may be in the local school or another level, in another level of governance. Okay? So next, for researchers that will involve indigenous people. So what I mentioned earlier, learners, indigenous cultural communities, indigenous knowledge systems and practices, indigenous learning systems, the Secretariat shall conduct a discussion with the recognized community, the indigenous or ethnic communities or elders in the IP Ed implementation from the local community to be involved in the research to validate if the proposal's compliance with the ethical requirements discussed, if the proposal's compliance with the ethical requirement discussed in section 6.c of this document. So there will be an inquiry regarding the ethical standards, ethical policies regarding the conduct of research involving indigenous people or ethnic communities. Okay. The paradigm of an action research was based on IPO. Basically, it's an IPO with an extension. An IPO with an extension. So, before we go on to the action research paradigm, the paradigm can either be based on a concept or theory that already has this particular diagram. So, meron mga concept, may mga theory na meron ng paradigm. You can use that aside from the IPO with the extension that I'm going to present earlier. Later pala. Okay. So, aside from that, you can use this one. This is what I was mentioning. The intervention model, which is just a modification of the IPO with the extension which refers to the intervention. So, IPO lang ang intervention model with the intervention, and this is what we call the intervention model. So, if there is no available diagram from the concept or theory that you use, you can use this intervention model as an alternative. Okay, next. Example of a study that after being conducted, the action research focused on the challenges encountered during the new normal. The title of the study is The Challenges Encountered During the New Normal of Education, and then the following areas were identified, and then the corresponding action plan was presented. So after conducting the action research, the following problem areas were identified. So ito yung mga challenges that needs to be given action. Instructional resources, medium of instruction, curriculum, and parental support. Again, this is just an example. If you have a template or if you have a program format that you are using or following, you may opt to use that. So for the purpose of just presenting this particular example that should be included in your action plan, we have the following. So after the target, challenge, or the problem that has been identified, you present the objective, what specific activity related to this particular challenge should be presented under activities, then who is the point person, persons involved, duration, and then the expected output for this particular area. So again, this is just an example of a proposed action plan that should be included in your action research. Action research format, we're almost done. This is just a review. So the action research format, as I mentioned again earlier, is either the full research format or the IMRAD format. Basically, the IMRAD format is not a new format. Technically and literally, they call IMRAD the new format. It is used by other schools directly when creating or writing a research. But IMRAD is not new, and it is not the new format that is being used today. IMRAD is a format used when publishing your research in scientific journals. So this is the prescribed format for a research to be published in a scientific journal. Okay? While the full research format is what we usually do in the tertiary and graduate school level that has 5 chapters, which is more detailed in terms of the process, the data collected, and the analysis of the research. So it usually consists of 5 chapters, utilizes comprehensive discussion, detailed discussion, presents detailed data and analysis. While IMRAD, which means Introduction, Method, Results, and Discussion, again, is a prominent form for publishing in scientific journals. So if you are familiar with Scopus Index, this is one of the prominent research journals that is catering to the publishing of researches, and usually it's either they require you to present the abstract of the research, which is different from the IMRAD, or the IMRAD. Magkaiba po yung abstract tsaka IMRAD. Okay? So the abstract is the summary of the research, and then the IMRAD format follows specific parts that should be presented. Ito na nga yung mga parts na yun: introduction, method, results, and discussion. Okay, research methods. Research methods refers to the the way you're going to do your research. The research design is the guide for you to be able to accomplish your research. So, research methods refers to quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. And then under design, you have, under quantitative, you have experimental, correlation. And then under experimental, you have quasi, and then you have true experimental. Qualitative, under qualitative, you have phenomenological, ethnological, case study grounded theory, historical, and so on and so forth. So these are examples of research designs. And these are the characteristics of the types of the methods of research. This was again already mentioned earlier. Okay, next. So these are the different research designs for every research method. And then the characteristic of your title should be smart but double R. Aside from relevant, it should have as much as possible a research gap for you to be able to help in terms of not only addressing the problem, but to make the teaching and learning process more convenient. Research gap is defined as questions that has not yet been answered by other studies. So, ibig sabihin, kapag may research gap, there's a vacuum. That's why it's a gap. There's a vacuum that needs to be filled up in terms of knowledge. Meron pang hindi alam. So, yun dapat yung imbestigahan ninyo. That's why it's called a gap. Therefore, it is supposed to be something new, innovative. Okay? So, that is an addition to what you already know as SMART. Okay, action research problems. Again, this was just a repetition from what we initially discussed earlier. The focus of your research problems should be the following. Okay, the next, action research format. Research proposal is usually from chapters 1 to chapter 3. If you are not yet familiar with the format, I have this 3-chapter format for the proposal. I also have a discussion of this in my YouTube channel at Doc and Padama. You can check that out. And please do not forget to subscribe. And then, I think this is the last part. This is also important to formulate a fundamental, basic research title. Basic research title. Now that you have already identified the research problem for your action research, we construct your research title using this template that I developed. So I divided this into 4 elements, to 4 areas. You have the goal of the research, the action of the research. The black text is the definition. The red text is the example. So you can just put the red text together and you can immediately form or formulate your own research title. So the goal is the direction of the study. The independent variable is the issue being investigated, the problem being investigated. The dependent variable is what is affected by the issue by the independent variable, and the locale is the area concerned in your particular research. So again, if you're going to see and if you're going to test, just select what select what is relevant to the study that you are conducting and put them all together, and then you will be able to form your own research title. And then eventually, from this particular level, you can then move up to a higher level of research title construction. Again, teachers, you can either use this for your personal action research proposal, or you can even use this in teaching research to your students. Okay, again, this is, I think, the last part of our research discussion. So please subscribe and follow to my YouTube channel and my TikTok account. Both of them are under the names Doc Ed Padama, Dear Teachers. And thank you very much for listening to our discussion. And I hope to see you in our next video discussion regarding research writing. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and God bless. Goodbye.